Neeraj, to you, and then we go ahead with the class.
Thank you so much, Varsha, for introducing me, and I really welcome Gumpe sir to this masterclass session. And I hope so all the keepers will be learning a lot from him, as he's the best in India and in Asia, I would say. Over to you, Varsha.
Right. So I guess we already have a summary of what we are going to discuss today. So I hope everyone here learns a lot. And apart from learning, as George has said, we'll hope the students and coaches apply it in their practical life. So today we'll be actually discussing about a topic which is less emphasized on, but is one of the most important positions in football, and that is goalkeeping. And for this topic, we probably have the best person with us to tell you all about this topic. AFC A license holder, AFC goalkeeper level 3 holder, former India under-23 goalkeeping coach, and AFC coach educator, and the list goes on. Mr. Gumpe Rime, please welcome to the session, sir.
Thank you. My pleasure to join you all for the discussion. Looking forward for discussing anything for goalkeeping.
Right. So we hope to have a good time with you out here and have answer all the questions we have from the students and coaches. So we'll be having two segments, as George has said. So we'll be taking the questions of the coaches first, which the coaches have asked. We had plenty of questions actually, but I have sorted down a few, like 5-6 questions from them, and we'll be going through that. Right. So first of all, a question from my side before getting to the questions from the coaches. I would like to ask that how important it is, like how important is the position of goalkeeper in football, and how important is it to emphasize on it? Because as I said in the introduction, the emphasis is less, but the importance is more. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, first of all, in a game of football, if you have one player less or two player less, you can still play the game. But the game will not start unless you have a goalkeeper. So just to begin with, without goalkeeper, the game can't go on. And then, of course, in modern football, the role of goalkeeper is very big. He's not just a goalkeeper, shot stopper in modern football. He's a football player who can handle the ball inside the stipulated area where he can catch the ball in the specific area. But he is a football player first, and then he's a goalkeeper along with that. So that's why, if you see in modern football, the goalkeeper is not confined to shot stopping. He's involved in attack. He moves out of his area and to read the ball, play it behind the defenders. We have heard about sweeper keeper. So the roles are getting bigger for the goalkeepers. After the evolution of the back pass rule, it's completely, the goalkeeper's role have completely changed.
Right. So it's more with the feet, and the goalkeeper is more involved and more a part of the game nowadays than it was believed to be before. So yeah, the coaches have really different and interesting questions from that of the players, of course. So first question from the coaches is, they've asked how to identify if a player is a goalkeeper, and what factors should a coach look for to identify in a child that this guy can be a goalkeeper.
Okay, you mean when we're trying to identify young talent, means at the grassroots level?
Right. When we are coaching young kids and at the grassroots level, or the young ones who have just come at training, so how do you identify that this guy is going to be a keeper? How should you know that?
Yeah. Let's talk about the typical scenario first. In the grassroots level or in your village area, when you are a small kid, when you are playing football, I'm not talking about Europe, especially India and rural part of India. When you play football in your locality, the first thing what we see is, if someone comes late, he is asked to stay in the goal, okay, as a punishment. Or if someone is the youngest in the group, okay, chotu tu chale ja goal mein. These are the typical scenario. Or if you see that someone is not very skillful or technically not very good, or he is a kind of slow mover, golumolu type, those kids are always, okay, you stay in the goal. This is typical scenario. But there are situations now, things are changing. We have kids who wants to be a goalkeeper from a very early age also. So now coming to the point of identifying young talent goalkeepers, of course, technique can be developed. Physically he will grow. Even the tactical understanding of the game will improve as he progresses with the age groups and he plays more number of games. But there are certain elements, which set us apart. I mean, us means the goalkeepers part is, the special, the mental character of the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper are one of the players who have the strongest mental character. If you don't have character, it becomes difficult. You make one mistake, you can't cry over it. So you have to know the goalkeepers make a mistake. There's no goalkeeper who doesn't concede goal. So after conceding goal, how he comes back from that mistake, that sets the goalkeeper species apart. So it's very important to look at the psychological part of thing when you're looking for young goalkeepers. Is he scared of the ball, or can he, read the ball? Is he standing on the line? Is he moving out? And it is game reading ability. You can see that early on. And then, does he talk? Is he a leader from the behind? Is he a leader? Those qualities, inborn qualities, are more important to look at. The technical thing can be developed with a lot of repetitions and exercises and through proper coaching and proper training. The psychological aspect plays a bigger role to find a good goalkeeper.
Right, like as you rightly said, how mentally advanced the goalkeeper is, or how brave he is in front of the ball. These are the things to be seen. Apart from that, if suppose I am on the field as a goalkeeping coach and I'm trying to see which kid has the potential to be a good goalkeeper, so does height or physicality or something come as a factor which I should look in, or is mentality the only thing?
Height is always an advantage, but when we are choosing goalkeeper at a young age, it's difficult to say whether this kid is going to grow tall or is he not going to grow at all. It's difficult to say at that age. Suppose say at the age of 9 to 12 years of age, in between. As a coach also, as a lay human being, we cannot predict that how tall he's going to grow. So there are certain things which we have to look at is, the parents' height and weight, the mother and father, are they big? Then the chances are that the kids will also grow. But sometimes you'll see that the parents are not very tall, but the kids grow very tall. So it's difficult situation when we are identifying young talent to completely look at the physical part of it. So, and young age, we can't deny any individual based on his size or height that, at that age, everyone is, wants to play, everyone is good. But over a period of time, through proper monitoring of his growing stage, during the growth spurt, is he getting the maximum peak height velocity, is attaining that or not? So those things we need to, as a coach, we need to monitor the monthly height and weight growth of the child. Then we can also say that okay, he's growing at a certain rate, or there are chances of growing more. So but it's difficult to say, we cannot look at someone because he's tall and that he can be a goalkeeper. He might stop growing. And if you see someone not very tall, and you say that he's not tall, so he cannot be a goalkeeper. But later on you see that he suddenly suits up. So things are very difficult at that age, and size definitely should not be the selection criteria.
Right, so height should not be the criteria, at least at that age. It should not be a criteria to judge a player or a goalkeeper. So, well, that brings to another question which the coaches have asked already. So that is, at what age, or what is the perfect age you should introduce goalkeeping at the grassroots level? Like what I mean is, for example, nowadays when we are developing football, or Indian football is developing, we focus at the grassroots level, right? Or the junior age group, the smaller ones. So at what age do you think is it perfect that a player should be focusing on only goalkeeping training, or particularly, especially goalkeeping training?
When you talk about grassroots football, it's about giving equal playing time, or we rotate position. We allow players to play in different positions. Sorry, we allow kids to play in different positions. So if we allow goalkeeper also to play in outfield position, there are more chances that he will develop his playing ability with the feet. So that's where the position is rotated. And then, but we see some kids, in Europe, you see there are some kids like if you see Kasper Schmeichel, he got this from his father. You could see that some from the pictures, he was maybe 1 or 2, 3 years of age. He already was in a goalkeeper jersey, and goes with his father for training and all. So, but ideally, there is no hard and fast rule that this is the certain age that you must start. So The specialization can take place from 9 years onwards, 9 to 12 years in between, because once we play a game where the goalkeeper is involved, that is 9v9 when we start playing. So that is the time I feel it's the right time to start specializing, say 10 years of age.
Right. So 9 or 10 is the age, and before that they should actually fancy, the different positions and enjoy the game more. Right. So people who have tuned in YouTube and are also here are putting in their questions. We'll be taking your questions as well very soon and asking it to Gumpe sir. So let's get on with the questions from the coaches. So why we are focusing on coaches as well, because as you rightly know that for developing players we need good coaches and good good development in coaching as well, right? So the next question I have is, there are very less satellite camps for coachings and for coaching in for goalkeeper coaches, that I would say, or for goalkeeping. So what do you think about that, and how much important is it to bring up such camps and such coaching sessions, such training sessions?
Of course, the coach education plays a very big role. Anyone can can coach, but there are certain things which comes with upgradation of knowledge. During our playing days, we used to do certain kind of training. And after going through some process of coach education, then we realized sometimes some of the things that we were doing and was not correct. So there's a different ways and different methods of training by each individuals. Everybody have his own style and philosophy. But if you upgrade and you learn how kids learn, what are the steps and the building blocks of goalkeeping, we call it, stage wise progression. So if we can understand that, it can definitely help the young goalkeepers. So it's very important to upgrade, from the basic, from the grassroots goalkeeping, what it takes to be a goalkeeping coach in a grassroots setup, and then moving on to a little bit older age group, when you go for level 1, and then you go for level 2, where you start talking about physical preparation of goalkeeper, and then you go for level 3, then we speak about the tactical training of the goalkeepers. So it progresses stage wise. So it's very important if you can understand this in block wise. Definitely it can help us as a coach, and it will help the players also.
Right. And I think that is very important, as you say, these camps and these things, because at the end, when you look at the big stage matches like the Qatar match, or whichever match you see Gurpreet Singh Sandhu, other players performing that well. So goalkeeper is a really important thing we need to focus on, right? So another coach has asked a very important question, I guess, that is about fitness and diet of goalkeepers. So what would you say about that thing?
Fitness is important, not only goalkeepers, in footballers in general. Diet and football, this one is important. No matter how hard you work, if you don't have control on your diet, so everything goes for a toss. So you must know what is right for you to eat as a football player. How important is hydration, what are the things I should be avoiding, what are the things I should be eating. Okay, nowadays we have a lot of nutritionists, and even the physiotherapists can help us in dealing and educating the children. Even the coaches and CLS and these things are discussed. So you will understand once you go through the coaching process, coach education process, you'll understand what are the things which is good for football player to eat, and what are the things which one has to avoid to become a this one. So there is nothing called goalkeeper specific or footballer outfield player specific. So footballer in general, should have a uniform, not uniform maybe, but as per your requirement, healthy food habits has to be cultivated from a very young age. Make sense?
So be it any right, it does make sense, of course. And when you're saying, it means a lot to the people as well. So they'll be hearing it up. Whichever position they're playing, this will be helpful advice for them, because they need to focus on their diet and fitness. Right.
Okay.
Right. So I'll be moving on to the questions from the players who are waiting to ask you these things from different parts of the country, actually. So the first question which I have is from Ritvik Mukherjee from Kolkata, West Bengal. So he has asked, it's just related to the thing I was talking about. So how a goalkeeper should train for fitness. So it's about fitness again, but how a goalkeeper should train for it.
Okay, and now preparation of goalkeeper, everything has to be goalkeeping specific. You cannot be running with the team. Sometimes the team goes for a lap round, or they go for a long stride. We call it, interval running. But it has to relate to how goalkeepers behave in the game. How much we run as a goalkeeper. The space we cover is very less, maximum 10 to 15 meters. We sprint. That too very rarely in case of a 1v1 situation. So the running part for the goalkeeper is very less. So most of the fitness training for the goalkeeper should be, with ball. If you can devise a training system with ball, and sometimes, you have to develop specific muscles. If you have some weakness in certain part, certain muscle group, then you have to take a strength and conditioning trainer or a gym trainer. Not the gym trainer, maybe strength and conditioner, football specific. They will guide you these are the areas you need to work on, and they will take you to gym and do some machine exercises to develop those particular muscle groups. But when it comes to fitness and endurance, it should be football specific and it should be goalkeeping specific. So we don't do something which the outfield player do. The way we take load in a game situation is different from outfield players. Outfield players, if you look at the GPS tracking system nowadays, they will be checking how much they have run, how much distance they have covered, but how much distance goalkeepers covers. That also we need to understand. So we move in a certain area. Certain players sometimes move way out of his line, but that is very occasional. But in certain area, the particular pattern of movement is different for goalkeeper. So a lot of short stopping exercises. If you have to develop on endurance, so repetition of ball specific exercise has to be increased.
Right. So I think those are the things they learn in on-field training. So I think they should focus on those things which help, improve in the aspects which are required for them in the game, for the goalkeepers in the game. So I think that's the thing which they should do. So the next question is from Abhijit Rati from Rajasthan. It's again related to the same thing, but a little different. That is about the lockdown, the current pandemic situation. So generally we see outfield players, they play wall passes and all with the ball and do different level of physical trainings. So what should goalkeepers do in this lockdown? How should they practice in lockdown if they're stuck at home?
In lockdown, if you are not able to go out, there now things are improving. People are able to go out and train a little bit. But if there's a complete lockdown, we should not be sitting idle or just crying over why there's a lockdown. But we can still work on certain things. You can keep working on your cardio, your core muscles has to be, you have to keep it strong. So you have to do a lot of core activities. And, you just have to keep your body going. And so that once you step out of the house, you are not starting from a zero level. So we have to keep ourselves, there are a lot of exercises. If there is no trainer with you, you can get the help of video tutorial. Now that you can get online, click of a button, you can find lots of tutorial videos which can help you for a beginner or intermediate or an advanced training. So at home, what you can do, you can find a lot of videos and you can follow those exercises at home.
Right. So I guess sitting at home is not the only thing they should do, especially when technology is so advanced, so they can make use of it and learn more and more in this time. Right. So would you like to give any tips to the young goalkeepers before I move on to the next question?
Yes, definitely. If everybody have been affected badly because of the pandemic, so if you are fortunate, you can go out and you can go for a little bit of job, or you can play in your locality. But if you are completely locked down, completely locked inside, don't sit idle. Keep yourself busy. You can still do some technical ball work, and it doesn't require much of a big space. In a small area also, you can still do your technical ball work. You can work on certain things. Your ball control can be improved, and you can work on your flexibility. and you can do some exercises, cardio exercises on the spot, but keep doing exercises and don't sit idle at home.
Right. So that's the tip from the master, and you all should follow that. And I hope most of you and all of you will follow that. So next we have a question from Sanket, who is from Maharashtra. He has an interesting question actually. That is, what things does a coach see in a goalkeeper in trials? Like when you're going to give a trial, what does a coach look in you?
It depends on the age category. It's not general, it's not general for every goalkeeper, or because it depends on the team's requirement. Suppose you go for a trial in certain age specific category, the requirement will be different. If you're going to a senior team, first team, ISL team, then according to the team's playing style or the head coach philosophy, are you fitting into the scheme? What type of goalkeeper they are looking for. So the criteria changes. It's not stagnant, it's not general. So if you are in a under 12, under 13 category, things that the academy looks for can be different. Are they looking for a tall goalkeeper? Are they looking for agile goalkeeper? Are they looking for goalkeeper who can play with the feet? Or are they looking for a complete package? But in today's, if you look at the current scenario, definitely the complete package will be looked after. So they will definitely look for the complete package. If you are young, the physical side won't be considered much, but your technical ability with your feet, your game reading ability, your leadership quality, how you can quickly gel with the team, those things will be looked at.
Right. So different criteria for different people, but you have so much experience, and you have also been with the under 23 Indian team. So if you were to select a goalkeeper, maybe for the national level or state level teams, so will the criteria be same, or is there any change when you are personally selecting a goalkeeper?
Again, that will depend on age criteria, like whether is it a developmental squad or is it a team that must win games. If it is for a senior team, we have a lot of competitors. A lot of goalkeepers are there. So it's just a matter of the one who is consistently performing, choosing the one who is consistently performing, and then who have the experience. The experience comes handy at the bigger level. So it's very important to look at the experience as well. So, but the technically or quality wise, there is very less difference at that level, in the senior level. So, and then it all depends on whether he is fitting to the head coach scheme, whether he understands how the head coach wants to play. Is he fitting to that style of play easily? Then definitely that goalkeeper will be the right choice. So, but for young goalkeepers, again, it depends, whether he's a long-term material or not, whether he's a good prospect for future or not. Maybe he's not performing now, but definitely you see him as a long-term prospect. So, then coaches has to have patience and then work on him. And then later on, definitely, if you are persistently working on some individual because you feel he's a good potential for future, definitely you can get success later on. But maybe instantly you might not get result. So coaches need to have patience there.
Right. So I hope the question which is asked was answered clearly to the person who is asking it. Right. So next we have an interesting question from Pradesh from Uttarakhand. He says, when a goalkeeper concedes an easy or maybe a silly goal, his confidence or morale just goes down, and then they keep on conceding a few more maybe. Right. So what is your suggestion, or what do you think a goalkeeper should do to handle the pressure and get back his confidence at that moment?
There are certain goalkeepers, if you have just seen the last night match, the England-Scotland match, Pickford was outstanding. He has been performing over the past few months. You have seen him even in Premier League. He has been doing well. So, if you can, some of the players, if you're reading it, what helped him to come back from, that poor patch of form was, he had the psychological consultation helped him a lot, because if you're a young kid, it can be technical issues or it can be your physical issues. But at the professional level, you have been performing very well, and suddenly there's a drop in performance. Certain things doesn't go well according to what you can as a goalkeeper. So sometimes, nowadays we have mental coaches who can, have a discussion with you, have a talk with him, and he will ask you certain questions. And in the course of the interaction, they will find out what you are going through and how he can help you to overcome those things. Sometimes meditation also helps you to overcome those things. But if you are a professional goalkeeper, but for over a period of time, if you are not performing consistently, definitely you need to definitely go and see a psychologist who can really help you to come back from that. After making a mistake, if you are repeating it again and again, getting the confidence back. So definitely you need to get some psychological help from the coaches.
Right, and it is important, I guess, to talk and discuss with the coaches or people who are in charge or anyone in that for that instance.
Yes.
Right. So, yeah, the next question is something you said at the beginning when I asked you about a selection of goalkeepers or height or whatever. So you were saying that goalkeepers who talk well or communicate well. So T. Hauke from Manipur has asked, how should a goalkeeper communicate better? And also another question he has added is, when can he decide he should go for an outing and when he should not?
See, when we talk about communication, these are certain things. It's difficult for the coaches to, we can't give those things. These are certain things called inborn. They are born with it. If someone doesn't talk, you can't make him talk. Maybe you can involve in discussion, but there are natural. These are natural traits. You can find it in young children. If he have that natural leadership quality, if he have, and he's not scared to talk, that you can identify early on. He must talk. So, but those things are natural, inborn qualities. But definitely, by practicing also it can improve. You coaches can help it. You'll see that the goalkeeper coaches will stay next to the goalkeeper, and he will also see the situation same as the goalkeeper is seeing. And then from just beside the goalpost, you can stand and you can give input to the goalkeeper. This is the time you must tell the defenders, to step up or drop down or tuck inside or go for the pressure or away. Or if you are available to give him support, you can tell him, you can show your hand by signaling that I'm with you. You can play the ball to me. Those kind of communication can also help. These are kind of non-verbal communication, which by just showing your hand, palm, you can, let your teammates know that, I'm available to receive the back pass. So that is also kind of communication, but talking is very important. Coaches can also help, but these are mostly, natural inborn qualities.
Right, so it's mostly natural and important, but then practice can also help, I guess, somewhat. But then you have to be, outspoken or try to speak much.
Yeah.
If you're not one of that kind who doesn't like to speak, then yeah, it is difficult, I guess.
Yeah, but again, talking doesn't mean, constantly talking and giving running commentary. But, you have to, as a coach, you have to apprise them of the specific terminologies, what you can use. If you see, someone wants to pass an information and he's constantly talking blah, 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 it will confuse the teammate. There are single words, if you want to convey a message that there's a man behind you, one word, man on, these are the terminologies. And we goalkeepers call it, when you come out you have to tell, earlier we used to call my ball, but in today's football, if you say my ball, referee will give a foul. So when you say keepers, or you can call your name, or if you want the defenders to clear it away, you can just shout away. These are single words, which can, send a lot of information to your teammates. So coaches, as a coach, we need to inform the goalkeepers that, these are the goalkeeper specific terminologies which can be used by just shouting one word.
Right. So yeah, that's the communication part. part, but you know, you already said so many times about the height factor that you know, at young age it is not important, but then people constantly keep asking about this height questions when it comes to goalkeepers. So Shiv Pandey from Delhi has a question, and few others also have a question. They are saying like, I am 19 or I am 20, my height is 6 foot or whatever, so can I become a professional goalkeeper? So that's the question here.
Already 19 or 20 years of age, and he's already
Right.
and he's 6 feet. You know, so
Yeah.
again, you know, height is not everything. As I have mentioned it, you know, height is important, but that's not everything. If you have seen the last Indian Super League, you must have seen Mohammad Nawaz, you must have seen Devjit Majumdar. They are not the tallest goalkeepers, but they are one of the constantly performing goalkeepers over the period of time. If you can see, they are also not the biggest goalkeepers. But if you are tall, but if you're not good with your legs, you know, if just being tall doesn't, you know, gives you everything, you know, that is needed to be a goalkeeper. So height is good. It's always an added advantage. It has to come with a good handling ability and good pair of legs to play as an outfield player. So you have to have a complete package, and if you have the height, definitely that is an advantage.
Right. So height is an advantage, but it's of course not everything, as the said.
Yeah.
Right. So Krishna Kumar from Karnataka says, what is the first thing which should come in a keeper's mind in a 1v1 situation? What should go through the mind, or how should be the approach?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, I was saying that the question from Krishna Kumar from Karnataka, he has asked, what is the first thing which should come in a keeper's mind, or the approach with which he should go in a 1v1 situation?
You know, in a 1v1 situation, if you say 1v1 situation, you know, first, in a coaching terminology, we call it, first of all, you must know the distance. You know, we talk about the starting position. You know, when there is a situation of 1v1, where are you starting from? You know, goalkeeper must know that, you know, whether he's too deep rooted in his line, or he's way off the line, or he is exactly positioning himself at the correct place. You know, once you know that, you know, as a goalkeeper, you need to understand, you know, his touch on the ball, whether the ball is under his control or whether the ball is away from his feet. Then you make a decision accordingly. If you see the ball is under his control, then I wait for the goalkeeper, for the attacker to commit. If the ball is away from the attacker's feet, then I make an advance to attack the ball. So these are, we call it, you know, game reading ability. You know, as a goalkeeper, if you have that reading ability, so when there's a big touch or when the ball is under the control, then you know, if it's not just rushing out, and if the ball is in his control, and strikers are always skillful and they are more clever, so he can always dribble past the goalkeeper and then score. You have seen that, you know, last game, Cristiano Ronaldo, you know, the second goal that he scored, you know, dribble past three players and then easily slotted the ball in between. So as a goalkeeper, it's important that, you know, you can't just go with, you know, it's 1v1 situation and I'm rushing out. First of all, you need to read the ball, whether it is the ball is under his control or it is away from his feet.
Right. So you have to use your presence of mind and, you know, your intelligence out there when you should go for the outing. Otherwise, it's really dangerous.
Yeah.
Right. So so we'll be taking a few more questions, and people who are in this session as well, some might raise their hands. I'll just take 2-3 from them as well. There's not much time, but I will be trying to take a few more. So one question which is very common out here, that is about penalties. And I've heard Sunil Chhetri, when you are, if you are striker, so he has been giving this tips sometimes that you should wait and wait and wait. These are the tips for strikers and all. But as a goalkeeper, what is your tips for, you know, when you're facing a penalty?
There is no specific tips, you know, that you must do this. Whatever, let me repeat, you know, whatever I say or is not, these are not the rules, these are the tools. Okay. So there's a ways of doing things, you know, everyone has his own way of doing things. So based on certain criteria and certain things I discuss, and then you can apply those and use it as a tool. So when it comes to penalty, what we try to teach it's from young kids, it's different. For professionals, yes, we watch a lot of videos. Suppose you are going to play, suppose FC Go is playing to Mumbai, and then the goalkeeper coach has to watch a lot of videos of the strikers taking penalties, and then send the message across to the goalkeeper that if there's a penalty situation, these are the areas that he is targeting most of the time. But it can always go against you at times. But you see that certain players have a tendency to take most of the penalties. Suppose say 10 penalties, 7 out of 10 he will always take on one side. Then it's a gamble for the goalkeeper. Then goalkeepers, he will always, we practice that, okay, you try to, because if he comes, he is going to shoot that side. Then we practice that. If other one takes the penalty, he will be going that side. So these are kind of little informations, you get it. But again, it comes with experience, the goalkeeper. But for young goalkeepers, even if you just, try to guess and then go, you'll always be late, because the kind of power it comes with the penalties nowadays, it's very hard. If it is accurate and on the right target, even if you guess it, you can always miss it. So it's a kind of guessing game. I take one side the moment, because goalkeeper cannot move ahead of the striker, or it cannot be late. So it has to correlate exact timing. Goalkeeper must make the move also. So you guess one side, the moment he strikes, I go for that side. Now it's a luck and chance, it's a 90 by 10 for attacker and goalkeepers. A goalkeeper will have only 10% of chances to make the save. So if you guess it right, and you go for it. So that's what I usually tell the goalkeepers, guess one side, make a decision, and then go for it. You cannot just wait, because attacker, as you said, attacker will always wait for the keeper to make a move. The moment you take one right step and the ball is played on your left side, you are already late. Once you take out your one step, then with that, using that step, you lunge for the ball, right? That's the basic technique. So if you take your right step forward, then you must go right. It's difficult for you to turn back. Then the striker will slot the ball slowly to the left side, but still we cannot react to that ball. So that's why you have to guess it, make a decision, and go for it.
Right. So I hope these tips helps these kids a lot, and many students have already raised their hands. I'll be checking a few of them and taking their questions. So Shruti Nair, I guess, has raised a hand. Interesting to have a question from a girl as well. I have been waiting for a long time. So yes, Shruti, if you can just turn on your mic and camera and just ask Gumpe sir your question.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for letting me ask the question. Hi, sir. I'm Shruti from India Rush, Mumbai. So
Hi,
my
Shruti.
question is from a coach's perspective, actually. So if someone wants to specialize in goalkeeper coaching and opts for further licensing, but is not able to do it because of the high amount of fees charged, and even if they do the license and they clear it and they qualify, there are not much valuable opportunities available. So how can we improve this scenario, which is very much prevalent in our country?
Yes, those days, goalkeeping coach position was not very, you can say kind of regarded very well. But I must say things are changing. There's a licensing criteria. I think those who run the academy will understand and know. George is there, he's smiling. So, the licensing criteria is also, clearly it's mentioned that, you must have a goalkeeping coach. You get certain points to have a goalkeeping coach. But a goalkeeping coach, since we do CBA license as well as an outfield player coach and do specializing, so we can coach the outfield player also. But outfield players, they do license, but they don't specialize in goalkeeping. So it's difficult for them to train the goalkeepers. So the coaches must also respect the goalkeeper coaches. You'll see that many places, some coaches who have not played as a goalkeeper and have not done any specific licensing in goalkeeper, but still trying to, train the goalkeeper. He can help in him in certain way with his experience, but so many things can go wrong. There can be injury risk are involved there, or wrong techniques can be given, or wrong message can be given to the goalkeeper. So these things are there. So if you do a goalkeeping license, definitely, we understand better how the goalkeeper feels and how goalkeeper learns. So, and then when you talk about opportunity, of course, things are changing. I think nowadays every teams, they have a requirement of goalkeeping coaches, but we need to bring the change as a coach. We cannot be sitting here and demanding that we be given more respect and we being paid more, but we need to do some work and then show our work that we are also there. We can help the goalkeeper develop much better, especially if many of us are here working in academy, in a professional club, in a first team. The goalkeeping coaches are football coaches assisting the head coach, who is a specialist in goalkeeping, specializing in goalkeeping. But in a youth setup, it's about individual player development, where there is no head coach, no assistant coach. Everybody is a specialist in his own field. So, the goalkeeping coaches has to play a bigger role in the academy setup. The goalkeeper's development has to be completely in the hands of goalkeeper. The teams will use the goalkeeper only when they need it. If they want to play a certain game or certain setup of style, then they need a goalkeeper, then only they will ask the goalkeeper to join you. Or else it's all left to the goalkeeper coach and the goalkeeper to do our own special things. So it's very important. We must, give equal, you can say, weightage or more regards to the goalkeeping coaches. Definitely, if the goalkeeper does well, the team is always benefited. If the team is benefited, everybody grows.
Right. I think that's very well explained and very well said. And thank you, Shruti, for the question. So next, I would take Himanshu Bhatt. If you can say your question, please. Turn on.
Okay. Good evening, sir. Hello.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. So I have a question like that in nowadays, but keepers do not. They only focus on gripping and diving. So could you share your views on that? How much a goalkeeper should be good from their feet too, so that in future they can focus on both they expect from the hands and from the feet.
Yeah. When do we dive? Diving is, for me, diving is the last resort. Something which I can't reach. I have to throw myself to get to that. And that becomes a diving, if we effectively do it, it becomes a diving technique. So, and in football, how many, in a game, how many times a goalkeeper will dive? Not many times. But if you look at the ratio of using hands and feet, using feet, the amount of time we spend using the feet in a game time is much more than using the hands in modern football. So we not just focusing on footwork and playing with feet, but it has to, we need to train them on every aspect, not just focusing on diving and not just focusing on just kicking and passing as well. So a goalkeeper must be a good shot stopper. He must be he must be very good at feet. He must be a leader. So we need to train them in every aspect, goalkeeping aspect.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Right. Thank you, Himanshu, and thank you, sir, again for answering it. We don't have much time, so we'll be taking one more question from the people who are in this session. Let me just check. Yeah, Satya Shetty, if you can ask your question, please turn on your camera and mic.
Hello, sir. Good evening. My name is Satya. I'm from Maharashtra. So my question is, how can I improve my goalkeeping skills?
Skills. If you have to improve your skill, you need to, of course, a lot of training in opposed environment will help you develop your skill. Most of the goalkeepers, we do a lot of isolated training, focusing on technical abilities. And the skills, you can say, that the dealing crosses, coming out for 1v1 where the opponents are involved. and the distribution, dealing back pass under pressure. These are goalkeeping skills, we say. So, you need to train more with, we call it training, the functional training where you are in the goal area, the setup is with the teammates involved. Those kind of exercises, if you have a coach who can run those kind of sessions, will definitely help you, improve your skills. But if you are training on your own individually, the skills, you can develop your technique, but the skill, you need to work with your teammates. We call it inner traffic, with an opponent. If you can do more exercise with opponent, you can improve your technique, skills. Make sense?
Right. So,
Okay, sir. Thank you.
right. We are almost to the end of our session, and George sir has been waiting here for for speaking up, and I know he's excited, and I'm excited as well to speak to you. So yeah, George sir, if you can just take it over.
Yeah. Hi, sir. So there is one interesting question which I have been told to ask by a parent who's there on the show, but the parents is a little bit scared to ask you this. The parents is saying that my son is 18 years old, and why is the goalkeepers being underpaid, where all the risk is being taken by the goalkeeper, and obviously when he concedes the goal, he's been taking all the mockery, and then when he saves, but yet he's been underpaid. So why is that? It is out of the box, the question, but I found that this was one of the interesting one. Before I go to the closing, I thought, let me ask you this.
Yes, but for the first questions, let me tell him or her, if he or she is present here.
It's a mother. It's a mother.
Not under... Okay, so let me inform her that if you look at the current transfer scenario of Indian football, who is the highest paid player, who has got the highest contract? He just got transferred from Mumbai to Calcutta. He left Mumbai and then
Arminder Singh. I think so.
Of course.
Arminder Singh, yeah.
He have signed for, amount is, if you do if you take a calculator, it won't fit in your calculator. So, the demand for goalkeeper is increasing. The goalkeepers are paid provided you perform at that level consistently over a period of time. So definitely we can't say that the goalkeepers are not paid. Okay, even the goalkeeper coaches are paid nowadays. Slowly people understanding the value of goalkeeping coaches, and the goalkeepers are definitely paid. Every team, look at every team. If you see, the goalkeeper plays a very big role, and the one who is performing and playing in the first 11 regularly are one of the highest paid in the entire club setup. Goalkeepers. If you look at all the, forget Europe, just the ISL. If you look at all the goalkeepers who are playing in the first team, if you just go through their market value, you will find out that they are not underpaid. They are very well taken care of. Okay. When it comes to, of course, goalkeeping and refereeing, these are two thankless jobs, and we have to live with it sometimes, but as a coach, what we encourage is, when we, some of you might have attended the introductory goalkeeping courses, goalkeeping introductory course, where we encourage the coaches to, when there's a goal conceded, we discourage the teammates not to scream at the goalkeeper, especially in grassroots setup. In grassroots setup, it has to start. The coaches who are working at the grassroots, every time goalkeeper make a mistake, we try to tell them that it's not only the goalkeeper's mistake. When a goalkeeper makes a mistake, there's already few mistakes committed ahead of him. It's a series of mistakes that leads to the goal. When you say, you have to inform the kids, where does the play begins? The play begins at the center circle. Except that Czech Republic goal, which, against Scotland, he was lobbed from center circle, almost center, he lobbed it. But that's a different level of skill. So, but the play starts at the center circle, then it has to get past the two attacker, then the ball comes to the 4 midfielders or the 3 midfielders according to your plan. Then the back 4 comes, you get first the back 4, then only ball comes to the goalkeeper. That means already there are people who have already made mistakes by allowing the ball to come to the goalkeeper. Then even goalkeeper is a human being, he can also make mistakes. So it's a collective mistake. It's not just the goalkeeper's mistakes. So we need to teach that from a bit early on. You know, if the goalkeeper makes a save, you know, and if you concede 1 goal, he scores 2 goals, you win the game. But if you score 10 goals and you concede 11 goals, you still lose the game. So we need to teach the kids early on that it's a team game. We'll win as a team and we'll lose as a team. So then I think, you know, slowly we can change the mindset of the boys that, you know, when the goalkeeper make a mistake, even I'm equally responsible for that to happen. So I think the coaches has to play a big role here. That's what we try to encourage the upcoming coaches, young coaches who are working with the grassroots level. Okay. Otherwise, of course, goalkeeper makes 10 saves, make one silly mistakes, concede a goal. Everybody will be talking about how the goal was conceded. And attackers makes 10 mistakes, in the end score 1 goal. He hogs the highlight next highlight. You know, he gets all the highlight the next day. So these are, you know, and you know, you see about Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo. So this is something, you know, which we can't change. Certain things, you know, as a goalkeeper also we have to live with that also. So when it comes to stardom and being bullied, so as a coach, who, if some of you are there working with the grassroots level, please don't allow that to happen, and then encourage them to, you know, have respect for each other, all the players.
So thank you, sir. And I think so, ma'am, you know, I think sir answered it very smartly, because he's a parent also. So he understands your situation and the situation of your son. So I think so, sir answered it very clearly. But I would also encourage, because I have done my coaching license under sir, and he's very positive. He encourages a lot of, you know, kids moving forward. And I have seen him even working with the Reliance, you know, the goalkeeping, you know, coaches with the players which he has. So, ma'am, I would just prefer encourage your son to, you know, develop first, and obviously the money will come in as he keeps on working hard. So, with this, I would like there are more 100+ questions, sir, but we can't take it all because we will be sitting overnight and we will miss the exciting match which is coming up next, you know, between Portugal and Germany. So, sir, before we end, whose side are you, Portugal or Germany?
The one who plays better. So I don't believe in dusri country. I have only one country.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but I just watch from a coach's perspective, try to analyze games. You know, not support. Yes. If you support one team, then you are one-sided. You are biased. So I don't support any single team. I try to enjoy all the game and try to analyze.
Okay, so that's a great message to all the coaches that, you know, it's better. Obviously, we are fans. Obviously, that's another case. But if you analyze as a coaches, it will help you to develop. That's another smart, you know, message put up by sir. So, sir, I thank you from the entire team of India Rush and TECHTRO Pradesh for coming up, giving your time, you know, so much precious time, because I know that you were busy in your schedule of analyzation of matches. So you gave your time. All the other questions which are there, I will see to that, you know, we answer them by Monday and we will reply back to you guys. So thank you very much. And, you know, we wish Gumpe sir a very happy Father's Day also, because tomorrow is a Father's Day. So we wish him a happy Father's Day from our side, because he's a lovely parent. I've seen, you know, him taking care of his daughters, which he has. So, you know, it's great. So wish you a very happy Father's Day, and thank you very much, sir, for your time.
Welcome. And then it was a pleasure interacting with you. You know, anything for the goalkeeping discussion. Once again, dear friends, I would like to remind, or, you know, so there's a difficult situation for every one of us. So every given opportunity, let's try to upgrade ourselves by attending a lot of webinars are happening. There are paid webinars, free webinars. Try to attend and try to gain as much as possible, and share your views as well. So a lot of things are happening. We need to just look for opportunities to attend and, you know, discuss things and share ideas. So if you are at home, lockdown, keep working. If you are able to go out, you know, help each other. it's a difficult time. Let's help each other so that we see that the situation improves and everybody is back on the ground. I think which we have been missing for a very long time. So thank you so much for having me, and I wish you all best of luck for your future endeavors. And there are a lot of parents are here, the fathers are here. So from my side as well, happy Father's Day to each one of you. So everyone stay safe, and hopefully we'll catch up soon.
Thank you, sir. Bye,
Right,
sir.
so-
Take care.